With the next case study for Killing in Action, we're getting more and more to the realm of reality of how finance plans are put together in the real world. So we're adding a few elements to our finance plans and take them step by step. When you discuss your project with a sales agent and you tell him, here's my script, here is my envisioned talent, here's my budget range, and so forth, he will put together sales estimates that look a little like this. You see every territory listed, and you see them listed in two pricing levels. The take level, which is our lower level, which is the level that investors and banks look at, and then the ask level, which is the medium to high level. Those are the pricing levels the sales agent will lay out for you. In many cases, the pricing that is going to be achieved with the sale that's happening to these foreign distributors is somewhere between the take and the ask level. In our case here, we are establishing that our take pricing level will get us $11,287,500 in revenues from foreign distribution, and the ask level would get us $16,931,250. When we put together our finance plans and we say, for example, that 75% of the budget should ideally be covered with international sales, we really talk about projections. We talk about what the ideal projection should look like, what the ideal sales estimates sheet should look like that we're getting from the sales agent. And when we say 35% of that should be pre-sold, it's an ideal level, but it's in reality a little different, because what you're actually seeing to be sold and what the sales agent is actually selling are these countries. And you see here in the pre-sold column, these countries show as sold. So we're selling Australia, we're selling Benelux, etc., etc. You see those countries are sold, and they're being removed from the take level and from the ask level because they're no longer available to be sold. When they're sold, they're sold. They're no longer available anymore. In our case, we're assuming that the pre-sales happened in the take level pricing. So total pre-sales we have achieved is $5,295,500. When our sales agent looks at our script, the genre, the budget range, our envisioned package, they will give us estimates, as we said, and they're usually estimated to be around 70 to 75% ideally. I mean, that would be good. Pre-sales, we have talked about estimates of 35%, 30%, and so forth, but in reality, they are being sold. So in our case, we have sold pre-sales various countries of $5,295,000, and we have unsold rights left of $5,955,000. It's very simple. We're taking our 75% take estimates of $11,250,000. We're deducting the actual pre-sales of $5,295,000, and then we are left with unsold rights of $5,955,000. We are assuming for this finance plan that our U.S. distribution rights will be sold for $5 million. So altogether, we're hoping to get worldwide gross distribution revenues of $16,250,000. In many cases, when banks provide loans to a project, they will discount pre-sales. So here, what we're doing for this case study, we are discounting the pre-sales that we have done country by country of $5,295,000. We discount them to a value of 80%, which is $4,236,000. That's what banks will do. They will likely take their contracts and they will apply some kind of a discount just for them to reduce their risk. Now, we did receive 20% of our pre-sales of $5,295,000 as a down payment from the distributor when they signed the pre-sale agreements. So we have that money. It's held with the sales agent until the time the bond company closes the insurance on our movie and the funds can be released to our production. At that time, the sales agent will give us the down payment. Now, in this case, and in many cases in reality, the sales agent will charge their sales fee that is due to them. Whenever money is released, a sales fee is due to them. So in this case, the 15% sales fee plus the 1% distribution fee comes to 16%. 16% of the down payment of $1,059,000 is $169,440. So this will be deducted, and what we have available for our budget to use to cover our production budget is $889,560. That's what we're going to have from our down payment. And the gross loan amount, after we're deducting our discounted pre-sale amount of $4,236,000, and we are deducting the down payment of $1,059,000, we end up with a gross pre-sale amount of $3,177,000. The bank will charge interest on that. In that case, it's 5%. It will deduct this interest of $158,850. So this leaves us with a net pre-sale loan of $3,018,150. That's one part of our bank loan. The second part of our bank loan is the unsecured GAAP loan. Unsecured because there is no pre-sale agreements standing against this loan as a collateral. The collateral here is our unsold rights. And again, we earlier established the unsold rights at take price level of $5,955,000. The bank will take 50% of that and assume that that's the maximum for them to lend for us or to us, which is $2,977,500. That's the maximum that they will allow as a gross GAAP loan. The interest of 9% is applied and deducted, leaving us with $2,709,525. So altogether, the net bank loan that we have available for the production under this scenario is $5,727,675,000. Because the bank has discounted our pre-sales and we want to ensure that our equity investor is not at risk, we're adding a mezzanine lender. So this mezzanine lender is giving us 10% of the budget, which is 10% of $15 million, is $1.5 million. The interest that the mezzanine lender charges of 8% is being deducted up front, so $120,000 will be deducted, and what we will have available to finance our movie is $1,380,000 from this mezzanine loan, which is also referred to as a junior loan because it recoups behind the senior loan, which is our bank loan. So now let's look at all the finance sources that we have gathered together. I hope you can see this semi-okay. Again, we have our revenues that we are estimating to be $16,250,000, and we are now putting together the finance plan. We're combining the pre-sale loan with the net loan for GAAP and ending up with $5,727,675. We're adding the net mezzanine loan of $1,380,000. We're adding our production incentive, which is 25% of $15 million. We're deducting the fee that is due to the production incentive lender, who is cash flowing this production incentive for us, so we don't have to wait until we actually do the movie, because then we can't use it here for production financing. So we're deducting this fee, and it's $3,187,500 that we end up getting from the lender for production incentives. So now we're adding up all these financing sources, and our subtotal is $11,184,735. So that's not $15 million, and so we have to get our equity investor to finance $3,815,265 in order to meet our $15 million budget and to cover our $15 million budget. So we assume that we produce the movie, we assume that we get our $5 million from US distribution. We're also assuming that we get the unsold rights sold at the take level. We obviously have our pre-sales. So we sum it all up, we're deducting what we already received, which is our down payment here. So our gross revenues are $15,191,000. And we will now be deducting our expenses. So when we look at our expenses here, we have, of course, the collection agent, which is the third party that collects all our revenues and manages all our repayments of our loans and investments, as well as all the distribution fees and costs we have to deal with. So the collection agent charges us 1% of our revenues, which is $151,910, because our revenues, as you remember, was $15,191,000. So next in line is the distribution expense for the sales agent, and that is 16%. And these 16% are charged on the on $10,191,000 because we already paid for the sales agent fee for the down payment. So it's not charged on the full international revenues anymore. It's only charged on the revenue minus the down payment. So that's why the 16% get to $1,630,560. The US agent charges 5% of $5 million, that's $250,000. Our gross bank loan is now due to be repaid. And the gross bank loan, again, is the loan that includes the interest fees and would include any loan fees that are due because we haven't paid them yet. They have deducted them, of course, but no one gave them a check. So this is the time where the bank is now recouping all their fees for their loan. Of course, we have to pay back our junior loan, which is the mezzanine loan at $1.5 million. And remember that the mezzanine lender requested a 10% premium. Premiums are always paid in the recoupment schedule. Premiums are never paid upfront, meaning deducted. So you deduct interest, but you don't deduct premium. Premium you pay in the recoupment. So in this case, your premium is $150,000 for your junior loan, for your mezzanine lender. Of course, we have to pay back the equity, $3,815,265, and we have to pay the premium on that amount, which would be $763,053. So when we sum up all of our expenses, we have expenses of $14,415,288. And when we deduct this from all our revenues, which were $15,191,000, we end up with a profit of $775,712. So now comes the point where we're sharing our goodies, we're sharing our profits. We offered the equity investor to receive 20% of the back end. So 20% of our profits, which were $775,712, is $155,142.40. Cast and director each get 20%, so together it's 40%. So they would be getting $310,284.80. And then the rest will be with us, with the producer. We're left with 40%, which is great. So we're making $310,284.80 as well.